Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Shuklam Baradaram Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vighnopashantaye Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnur Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Gurur Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Gurave Sarva Lokanam Vishaje Bhavaroginam निधये सर्वविद्यानां श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम् अपारकरुणासिन्धुं ज्ञानदं शान्तरूपिणं श्रीचन्द्रशेखरेन्द्रगुरुं प्रणमामि मुदान्वहं। परित्यज्य मौनं वठाधस्थितिं च व्रजन् भारतस्य प्रदेशात् प्रदेशं मधुस्यन्ति वाचा जनान् धर्ममार्गे नयन् श्रीजयेन्द्रो गुरुर्भाति चित्ते नमामः शङ्करान् वाक्य विजयेन्द्र सरस्वतीं श्रीगुरुं शिष्टमार्गानो नेतारं सन्मतिप्रदम्। ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ। The definition of mantra is that mananat trayate iti mantraha. That one which protects, trayate, to protect, that thing which protects you when you do mananam, when you repeat chanting it, when you just repeatingly chanting it on your manas, with your mind, that one which protects you if you repeatedly chanted that is called as mantraha. Mananat trayate iti mantraha. And these mantras are very, very potent. And that is why these mantras are kept very secretly so that it is not misused, or if it is not used properly, you are going to have side effects. Because of all these things, these mantras are kept very, very protectively, secretively. And when these mantras are revealed to mankind by rishis, rishis are called as mantra drashtas. They did not create or invent mantras, but they just discovered the mantras which are omnipresent. Mantras are present everywhere. Rishis discovered the mantras, they crystallized the mantras, they put the mantras in a tangible form so that it can be used by everybody. Just like how we have Wi-Fi signal all over us, but we need a laptop or mobile to crystallize or to make those signals make those signal tangible to you. So rishis played that role. And when the rishis they revealed mantras, they normally put this mantras with lot of protection. For example, Mahapariva says in Devatin Kural, the entire Vedas have the famed Panchakshari mantra at its heart. The crux of the entire Vedas is Panchakshari mantra, which is present in the Rudradhyaya, in Shatarudriya Dhyaya, in the Yajurveda, among the Rig, Yajur, Samaveda are called as Trayi. So the entire crux of Vedas is the famed Panchakshara mantra. If you ask Krishna followers, if you ask the followers of Bhagavatam, they would say the entire Bhagavatam is there in order to protect Radha mantra. The word Radha does not appear anywhere in Bhagavatam as such. But there is only one place where if you take the final letter of the first word and the first letter of the second word, it forms Radha. So they would say that the entire Bhagavatam is there. The crux of the entire Bhagavatam is the two letters Radha. And in order to protect Radha, the entire Bhagavatam is there. It is like how if we buy a diamond, the diamond is going to be very, very small, but you put that in a box, you put that small box in a big box, you put that big box in a plastic cover, you put that in a locker. You would keep on doing in the same way. For the entire Vedas, The Shiva Panchakshara is like that diamond, and the Vedas are like baths that protects the Shiva Panchakshara mantra. Radha is like diamond, and the entire Srimad Bhagavatam is like that locker onto which the mantra Radha is present. In the same way, in Lalita Sahasranamam as well, there is not one but many mantras that are secretly encoded. These encoded mantras are of two types. The first type is like Shiva Panchakshari in Yajurveda. Everybody knows, everybody who can read Shiva Panchakshari, who can read Yajurveda, can identify Shiva Panchakshari mantra in Yajurveda. Everybody who can read Srimad Bhagavatam can identify the letters Ra and Dha in Srimad Bhagavatam. All you have to do is, just split words in a certain way, and you can easily identify the particular mantra that is encoded inside the text. That is one way. The other way is to encrypt those mantras. In computers, we have something called as encryption. I send a message, but that message will be encrypted into some other thing which nobody can understand. Only if you have a key, you have to unencrypt, you have to decrypt that message so that the original message can be easily read, right? In the same way, there are some mantras, even if you read the text 1,000 times, the mantra won't be visible to our eyes. But the mantras, if you have the decryption key, you can easily identify the mantras. That is another way of encoding mantra into text. In Lalita Sahasranama, both of these ways are used. That is why this Lalita Sahasranama is called as Rahasya Sahasranama, because many mantras are kept inside this Lalita Sahasranama in a very secretive fashion. And one must need, either one has to read these bhashyams to understand which mantra is present in which nama, and how to decode these mantras. So, if we see the three namas, Shri Mata, Shri Maharagni, Srimat Simhasaneshwari, there is one letter or there is one syllable that is common in all the three namas, that is called as Shreem. Shri Mata. Normally we split Shri Mata as Shri Mata, Shri Maharagni, Shrimat Simhasaneshwari. But if you just change, if you do the Padacheda in a different way, we can arrive at Shreem, Shreem, Shreem in all the three namas. This Shreem is a bija. The Shreem is the bija akshara. This Shreem is the mantra that is encoded within the first three namas of Lalita Sahasranama. In fact, the entire Vidya called as Shri Vidya is called so. There are many etymology for the word Shri Vidya. There are many ways you can explain, with which you can explain the word Shri Vidya Upasana. But one of the ways is that Vidya, that Upasana, for which the Bija Shreem is very important. That Vidya is called as Shri Vidya, one can say. That is why, right in the first three namas of Lalita Sahasranamam is like the textbook of Shri Vidya. And in the first three namas of Lalita Sahasranamam itself, the bija, the important bija, that is Shreem bija or Lakshmi bija, is encoded. Just by adding the Shreem bija, the Panchadasakshari mantra becomes Shodashakshari mantra. Adi Shankaracharya and Saundaralahari also explains this, that we will see in a different time. But remember that the first three namas, Shri Mata, Shri Maharagi, Srimat Simhasaneshwari, the bija akshara of Shreem is encoded in all the three namas. We have seen the meanings for these three namas. These three namas are very important, and they form the crux of Lalita Sahasranama. Srishti, Shri Mata; Sthiti, Shri Maharagni; Samharam, Srimat Simhasaneshwari. Yato va imani bhutani jayante yena jatani jivanti yat prayantyabhisamvishanti. These are in Upanishad. The Tatastha Lakshanam of Brahman is said to be that one which does Srishti, Sthiti, and Samhara, which is responsible for the Srishti, which is Karanam for the creation, that because of which the creation is sustained, that onto which the creation dissolves, that thing is called as Brahman, said Upanishad, and that is what is being explained in Shri Mata, Shri Maharajni, and Srimat Simhasaneshwari. This is just three namas out of the 1,000 namas, and all the remaining 997 namas are just an explanation for these three namas. Normally, people say, who reads Bhagavad Gita, they will say the first shloka in Bhagavad Gita has the entire teaching in it. Asoshyan anvasochastvam pragyavadamscha bhashase gatasu nagatasumscha nanushocanti pandita. This is the first teaching of Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, shloka number 11. They would say the entire first chapter, all the remaining shlokas in the first chapter is just an explanation for the first shloka, and the remaining chapters in the Bhagavad Gita is just a commentary. It's just an explanation for the first chapter. So the whole teaching is covered in the first shloka. All the things, it's just an explanation to the first shloka, they say. Who reads Bhagavad Gita will know. In the same way, the entire crux of Sahasranama is present in these three namas. Shri Mata, Shri Maharajni, Srimat Simhasaneshwari, because it reveals the Tatastha Lakshanam of Brahman, and all the other namas, 997 namas, are nothing but an explanation for these three namas. How Ambal does the sthiti, the pariparanam of this universe. Now, the explanation happens. Chidagnikunda Sambhuta, Devakarya Samudyata, Chidagnikunda Sambhuta. The story of Bandasura we will see, in little bit while. But Ambal came up in a Agnikunda called as Chidagnikunda. Ambal manifested herself in the Chidagnikunda, they say. Braviti katamutpanna sakarma syascha kim dvija yat prabhava cha sadevi yat swarupa yadudbhava tat sarvam shrotumichami tvatto brahma vidambara. The Raja will ask the Rishi in Devi Mahatmyam, how did this Devi arise? Tat sarvam shrotumichami yat prabhava cha sadevi yat swarupa yadudbhava. How did this Devi arise? What is the Devi's swarupam? What is this Devi's prabhava? Asked the king to the Sumedas Rishi in Devi Mahatmyam. For that, the Rishi says, Nityaiva sa Jaganmurtihi Taya Sarvamidam Tatam Tathapi Tat Samutpattihi Bahuda Shruyatam Mama Devanam Karya Siddhyartam Avirbhavati Sayada Utpanneti Tadaloke Sanityabhyavidhiyate, says the Rishis. Just because she has a date of manifestation does not mean that is the day with which she was born. We have a date of birth. Before the date of birth, this entity, I have a date of birth. Before my date of birth, I was not there. And after my expiry date, I will not going to be there. I am only present transiently in the timeline, right? But for Devi, it is not like that. She is always present. Nityaiva sa Jaganmurtihi. In fact, Taya Sarvamidam Tadam. In fact, all the things that exist, they exist because of Devi, they exist in Devi. But Devanam Karya Siddhyartam Avirbhavati. Because of Deva Karya, because Ambal has to perform a function, Ambal has to perform Deva Karya, she manifests herself. And here in Lalitopakyanam, Ambal manifests herself in the Agni Kunda called as Chidagni Kunda. The Devas, they made a huge Agni Kunda, Homa Kunda, and then they were starting to offer themselves onto the Agni Kunda. And at that time, Ambal starts to appear. Chidagni Kunda Sambhuta. Ambal is like that fire that comes out of Agni Kunda. That is why normally when we worship Ambal, we worship Ambal through fire. Fire, Ambal, and Stris, they are inseparable according to Shastras. The Durga Suktam that we say, if we see the meaning, it is all addressed to Agni. All the Durga Suktam, if we see the meaning, it is only Agni Suktam. It is addressed to Agni, but we have to interpret as Agni Rupa Durga. We are worshipping Jata Vedase Sunuvama Soma Maradiyato Nidahati Vedaha Sanaf Parushadati Durgani Vishwa. Jata Vedas is name of Agni. Jata Vedas is another name for fire. Even Shri Suktam, Hiranyavarnam, Harinim, Suvarnarajatasrajam, Chandram, Hiranmayim, Lakshmim, Jata Vedo Maavaha. Jata Vedas Agni. We worship Ambal through Agni. That is why every day we have to light a lamp in our house, because Ambal as Mahalakshmi, Ambal as Durga is present in that velak, is present in that lamp. Chidagni Kunda Sambhuta. That can be considered as Chidagni Kundam, and the lamp that we light is the Agni which is coming from that lamp is Lalita Parameshwari, Chidagni Kunda Sambhuta. The other meaning for Chidagni Kunda is our own heart. Normally, Shastras talk of two kind of Akasha, Mahakasha and Chidakasha. Mahakasha is that space that are surrounding us. Chidakasha is that space that are present within our heart. Upanishad say, hey, if you want to do Upasana of Swami, you have to find the Swami in your own heart. Padmakosha Pradikachagum Hiranyancha Padmakosha Pradikachagum Adomukam. He says, inside our heart, you have to, there is a lotus that is upside down, and when Bhagavan is present in that lotus, it flowers, says the Upanishad. Even in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Hriddeshe Arjuna Tishtati. Hey Arjuna, the Ishvara, Sarva Bhutanam Ishvaraha, the Ishvara, which is the Lord of all the beings, he is present in your own heart, Arjuna. Hriddeshe Arjuna Tishtati, says Bhagavan Krishna in Bhagavad Gita as well. That is why the Chidakasham is very, very important. And the Chid Ambaram is another name for Chidakasha. Normally, we think of Chidambaram as a kshetra. We go to Chidambaram and we worship Nataraja there. But Chidambaram is everybody's own heart. And inside the heart, Chid Agni Sambhuta. And inside this heart, Ambal is present. Chidagni Kunda Sambhuta. And why is Ambal there? Devakarya Samudyata. That is the next nama. In Gita, Krishna says, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanihi bhavati bharata abhyuktanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. Says Krishna, right? Yada yada hi dharmasya glanihi. Whenever there is a decrease in dharma, yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuktanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. In order to revive dharma, hey Arjuna, I am being born. How does Krishna revives dharma? Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam. By protecting all the sadhu and by destroying all the wrongdoers, dharma is being protected. In the same way, Ambal coming out of the Chidagni Kunda, we have to compare both the things side by side. On the first line, we have to imagine the story that is happening, that is being explained in Lalitopakyana. During Lalitopakyana, in Lalitopakyana, Bhandasura is the Asura. He started affecting Devas. Devas were praying to Ambal in order to protect them, and Ambal manifested in order to do Devakarya Samudyata. That is the first meaning. The second meaning is that inside our heart, Chidagni, Chitu Agni, inside our heart, Ambal is being born. Why? Devakarya Samudyata. Adi Shankaracharya, when writing Bhashyam, he says, we also saw that in Daivattin Kural. He says, Devas and Asuras, they need not be two different entities. This is what we have seen in the first class of Lalita Sahasranama. In the Krita Yuga, Devas and Asuras are in two different lokas. And then Treta Yuga came where Rama was present. Devas and Asuras, they are present in the same loka but in different countries. Rama is present in Bharata and Ravana is present in Sri Lanka. Same loka but two different countries. And then came Dwapar Yuga. During Krishna's time, even within the same family, some people were righteous and some people were wrongdoers. So, right and wrong were there even within the same family. And then now in Kali Yuga, what is happening? All the Devas and Asuras, they are present in one's own body. Whenever we do right things, we are Devas. Whenever we do wrong things, we are Asuras. And Ambal is present in our heart. Ambal manifests in our heart to do Devakarya Samudjita in order to Paritranaya Sadhunam Vinashaya cha Dushkritam, in order to destroy all the wrong actions, all the wrong thinkings in our heart. Ambal is being manifested. Chidagnikunda Sambhuta, Devakarya Samudhita. Now, the Lalita, all the Vag Devis are explaining that Ambal who is coming out of the Chidagnikunda. You have to imagine Ambal is so lustrous and she is coming out of the fire. Normally, if we see a so bright object like sun in the sky, we can only see the outline. Sun has lot of bright sparks and dark spots, but our eye is not accustomed to the bright and dark, to the brightness of the sun immediately. So you have to keep on staring at sun for a long time in order to see the bright spot and dark spot inside the sun, right? In the same way, Ambal is coming out of the Chidagni Kunda. So all those things that the Vagdevis can see is just an outline of Ambal. That's what they are explaining here. Udyadbanu Sahasrava. When Ambal is coming out of the Chidagni Kunda, she is as illustrious as 1,000 rising suns. Udikindra Sengadir, Uchittilagam, Unarvudayor Madikindra Manikam, Madulam Podu, Malarkamalai, says Abhirama Bhattar and Abhirami Andadi. Ambal's lustrous is 1,000 Suryans, Udyadbanu Sahasrava. 1,000 suns when they are rising, how much brightness it's going to be there. That is the brightness with which Ambal is coming from the Chidagnikunda Sambhuta. Already it is Agnikunda, Agni is there, but Ambal brightness eclipses masks the brightness of all the Agni. So all the all the Vagdevis can see is just an outline of Ambal, and even with the outline, they find a difference. Normally, we have only two hands, right? Ambal is having four hands because that is what we can see in the outline, right? So the next Nama is Chaturbahu Samanvita. Ambal is having four hands. What are the things that are present in the four hand? They can see and they are telling Ragaswarupa Pashadhya Krodha Karang Kushojala Manorupekshukodanda Panchatanmatrasayaka Ragaswarupa Pashadhya Krodhakarang Kushojwala. On one hand, Ambal is having a Pashakair. Pashakair is that rope. Ragaswarupa Pashadhya. On the other hand, she is having an Ankusham, a noose. Krodhakarang Kushojwala. That is what they see with their eyes. Pashakair, Pasham and Ankusham. But because they are Vagdevis, they can see much more than that. What is that Pasham? That Pasham is Ragaha. Ragaha means Asai. It is not that Karnatic Ragam. It is that Asai, that Kama that we have is called as Raga. And Krodhakarang Kushojwala. The Ankusha that Ambal is having in her hand is Krodha, is Kopam. The anger is what Ambal is having on her other hand. If we see these things, these are nothing but Manovritti. Asai, Verupu, Virupu, Verupu, Raga, Krodha, Kama and Krodha, these are just Mano Vikara, and Ambal having those in her hand signifies that if we can control them, we can raise to the level of Ambal. Normally, if a new girl is married and if she goes to the husband's house, what if the girl's mother will say, "Hey, pona onna purushana kaikulla pottuko." That is what the girl's mother will say. Kaikulla pottukiradhu means what? You have to keep hold of the husband. It means what? You have to make husband listen whatever you say. That is what the girl's mother will say in a normal setting, right? That is why Ambal is showing if you have raga and krodha, if you have kama and krodha in your hand, நீ காமத்தையும் குரோதத்தையும் கைக்குள்ள போட்டுட்டன்னா you can raise to my level, says Ambal. That is what Thiruvalluvar also says in Tirukkural. வேண்டுதல் வேண்டாமை இலான் அடி சேர்ந்தார்க்கு யாண்டும் இடும்பை இல. வேண்டுதல் வேண்டாமை இலான். The one who does not have வேண்டுதல், raga, kama. வேண்டாமை means krodha, anger. The one who does not have any kama, raga, the one who does not have any krodha, anger. வேண்டுதல் வேண்டாமை இலானடி சேர வேண்டும், says திருக்குறள், says திருவள்ளுவர் in திருக்குறள். And Krishna in Bhagavad Gita elaborates all the bad virtues of Kama and Krodha. Kama is nothing but another name for Raga. Raga and Kama are same, which means any liking. It does not mean disliking or that liking. Any longing that you have is called as Kama. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Kama yesha Krodha yesha rajoguna samudbhavaha Mahashano Mahapapma Vidyenam Miha Vairinam. Hey Arjuna, these two things are your Vairi. Vairi means enemies. These two things are your enemies, Arjuna. What are those things? Kama Yesha, Krodha Yesha. Kama the raga and Krodha the anger. These two things are your enemies. Rajoguna Samudbhavaha. These are born out of Rajoguna. Mahashano Mahapapma. These are Maha Ashana. They are the great eaters, as it were. What does it mean? It eats all your punya. Mahapapma. Not only does it eat all your punya, they also cause you, they also make you to do a lot of papa. Mahashano Mahapapma Vidyenam Iha Vairinam. Know these two as your Vairi, says Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. That is why even in Upanishads, even in Sandhya Vandana Mantra, we say Kamokarishin Namo Namaha, Manyurakarishin Namo Namaha, Kamokarishin Namo Namaha, Kamak Karoti Naham Karomi, Kamak Karta Naham Karta, Kamak Karahita, Naham Karahita, Yeshate Kama Kama Yaswaha, Manyurakarishin Namo Namaha. Manyuk karoti naham karomi manyuk karta naham karta manyuk karagita naham karagita yeshate manya manyave swaha. Manyu means krodha. It is very important that we keep our asai and kobam at our own hands. That is what Ambal is showing us in our heart. We have to see Ambal is present in our heart, having kama and krodha, showing that we have to control kama and krodha in order to raise to my own level, says Ambal. Ragasvarupa Pashadhya Krodha Karankushojvala Manorupekshu Kodanda Panchatan Matra Sayaka. Mano Rupa Ikshu Kodanda Panchatan Matra Sayaka. On the two hands, she has Chaturbahu Samandita, right? Two hands, she has Pasha and Ankusha. On the other two hands, she has a Kodanda. Kodanda, a will, a bow. And that bow is made up of Ikshu. Karumbu, sugar cane, a bow made up of sugar cane. Anorupa Yikshu Kodanda and Pancha Tanmatra Sayaka. 5 arrows that are made up of flowers. This is the Akriti that is present in Kanchipuram. Kamakshi Devi. Only in Kamakshi Devi, the features of Ambal are present as described in Lalita Sahasranama. All the other temples which resemble Kamakshi, they all are of recent times, but only the Puratana temple that is present in the universe that aligns with what is told in Lalita Sahasranama is present in Kanchipuram in Kamakshi Devi. In Ambal in Kanchipuram, Ambal has got 4 hands, with all these features. Manorupekshu Kodanda. So what is the Kodanda? What is the bow that Ambal has in her hand? Manas, mind is the Kodanda that Ambal has in her hand. And Panchatanmatra Sayaka, Sabda Sparsha, Rupa Rasa Gandha. Sabda Sparsha, Rupa Rasa Gandha. The five sense objects are the five arrows that Ambal has in her hand. Mano Rupekshu Kodanda, Panchatan Matra Sayaka. So if we see everything together, Ragaswarupa Pashadya, Krodhakara Ankushodjvala, Manorupekshu Kodanda, Panchatan Matra Sayaka. If you have all these things in your hand, it means if you can regulate your mind, if you can regulate your sense pleasures, if you can regulate your kama, if you can regulate your krodha, you can become Ambal as well, says Lalita Sahasranamam. Nijaruna Prabhapura Majjad Brahmanda Mandala. Ambal is coming out of that Chidagni Kunda. Everywhere it is filled with Aruna, red color of Ambal. Every color we associate some meaning with the color. Black, inauspiciousness. Bright, nice blood red color means Krodha. In the same way, Aruna, that light red color. Aruna is exactly the color that is present in the sky during sunrise. During sunrise, that nice rose color, reddish rose is present in that sky, right? That is called as Aruna. Nijaruna Prabhapura Majjad Brahmanda Mandala. That Aruna, that color symbolizes Karuna. Karuna Kachidaruna, says Adi Shankaracharya in Saundarya Lahari. So that Aruna, that bright red color, that symbolizes Karuna. So Ambal is coming out of the Chidagni Kunda with a lot of Karuna, a lot of compassion, and Ambal's compassion fulfills the whole universe. That is what the Vagdevis are saying. Now that Vagdevi's eyes have accustomed to the brightness of Ambal's Akriti, they can see the inner features of Ambal's Swarupam. Just like how when we just stare at the sun, we can only see a round. And once we keep on staring at the sun, I don't advise you guys to do it, but once we keep on staring at the sun, you can see the bright spots, dark spots. You can even catch solar flares if possible, if you are really lucky. So, we can do all those things, right? In the same way, this Ambal, when coming out of Chidagnikunda, all the Vagdevis are blinded, so they can only see the outline. They can see that Ambal has got four hands. But now Ambal's Karuna is filled with, Ambal's Karuna fills the entire universe. The Vagdevis, they can see Ambal, so they start to, describe Ambal's Sthula Sharira from top to bottom. Normally in Sanskritam, the grammar is that for three devatas, when we do Varnana, it has to be from Kesha Adipada. It has to be from head to toe for three devatas, and for Purusha devatas, it has to be from bottom to top. It has to be Padadi Kesha Varnana. It has to be from legs to the head for Purusha. So that could be one of the reason. Or the second reason is that if Ambal is coming out of Chidagni Kunda, they can only see the head. And as as Ambal comes out, all the avayavas from head to toe are being known to Vagdevis. So that is why they are seeing, they are explaining things from top to bottom. What is the first thing that they can see in top? Ambal's Kesha and flowers in Ambal's Kesha. Champaka Shoka Punnaga Saugandhika Lasatkacha. Ambal herself is wearing flowers on her head because Ambal is Nitya Sumangali. She is wearing flowers on her head. Champaka, Ashoka, Punnaga. Ambal is wearing all these flowers on her head. Champaka, Ashoka, Punnaga, Saukandika, Satkacha, Kuruvinda Manishreni, Kanakotira Mandita. Ambal is wearing a creedam that is bedecked with Kuruvinda Mani, just like a Padmaraga stone. Ambal's Creedam has got all this Kuruvinda Mani Shreni, Ganat Kotira Mandita, Ashtami Chandra Vibrajat, Alikasthala Shobita. Ambal's foreneck, forehead is like Chandran in the Ashtami day. In the Ashtami day, Chandran will exactly be semicircle. If we go out, both in Shukla Paksha Ashtami and in Krishna Paksha Ashtami, the Chandran will be exactly like half circle. Ambal's forehead is like exactly that half circle. Ashtami Chandra Vibrajate, Alikasthala Shobita. And if we see Chandra, there is going to be small kalankams. There is going to be small, small shadow-like positions in Chandra, right? So what is like that in Ambal's head? Mukachandra Kalangaba Mriganabhi Visheshaka. Ambal herself is having bindi, Mriganabhi Visheshaka. Ambal is wearing Karpura, that Mriganabhi, that pottu on her forehead. So Mukachandra Kalangavi, that pottu is like that Kalankam in Ambal's face, Kalankam in Chandran. Mukachandra Kalangabha, Mriganabhi Visheshaka. Vadanasmara Mangalya Grahatorana Chillika. Ambal's face is like that house. And normally, when we have house, we put Toranam inside our house, right? In the same way, Vadanasmara Mangalya Grihatorana Chillika. Ambal's eyebrows are like Toranam. They add beauty to Ambal's face, just like a Toranam would do to a normal house. Mukachandra Kalankaba Mriganabhi Visheshaka Vadanasmaramangalya Grahatorana Chillika and Vaktralakshmi Parivaha Chalanmeenabhalochana. Vaktralakshmi Parivaha Chalanmeenabhalochana. Ambal's Mukham Vaktram has got a Saundarya Pravaha, and in that river of Saundaryam in Ambal's face, river normally there will be means, there will be fishes, right? Ambal's eyes are like that fish which is moving here and there, here and that, here and there. Ambal is basically looking at all of us. Hey, maybe he is doing something wrong. I need to save him. I need to protect him. I need to give him that. I need to give him this. I need to give him that. So Ambal's eyes are constantly on the move, just like how a fish will be moving in a fish tank. Ambal's eyes is moving in Ambal's face. Vaktralakshmi Parivaha Chalanvinabhalochana. Navachampaka Pushpava Nasadanda Virajita. Ambal's nose is being described here. Nasadanda. How is that nose? Not very, very teeny, tiny nose, or not very, very big nose. Navachampaka Pushpapa. Just a champaka flower, it has flowered on that day, like that new champaka flower. Ambal's Nasa Dandam is there, and in that Nasa Dandam, what is Ambal's wearing? Tara Kanti Tiraskari Nasa Bharana Basura. In Ambal's nose, in that Navachampaka Pushpapa Nasa Danda, in that Nasa Dandam, Ambal is wearing a Mukutti nose stud, and that nose stud is like Tara Kanti Tiraskari Nasa Bharana. Normally when we say diamond, it looks like stars, right? Stars will be twinkling in the sky. The same way, diamond will also twinkle, because of its cut shape, etc. Ambal's Mukuti is like that diamond, which even eclipses, the brilliance of stars. What does it mean? It means Ambal is wearing flower on her head. Ambal is wearing puttu on her head. Ambal is wearing Mukuti as well. If Ambal herself is wearing all those things, what about all of us who have to wear that? All the person, they have to decide for themselves. Tara Kanti Taraskari Nasa Bharana Basura Kadamba Manjari Klupta Karnapura Manohara. Ambal is wearing Kadamba Manjari. Ambal is wearing lot of flowers on her hair, including Kadamba flower. And that Kadamba flower, because she is wearing a lot of flower, these Kadamba flowers are appearing in, just behind her ears. Kadamba Manjari Klutta Karnapura Manohara Tadanga Yugali Bhuta Tapanodupa Mandala. So near her ears, Ambal is having those Kadamba Manjari, and in the ears, Ambal is wearing Tadanga Yugali Bhuta Tapana Udupa Mandala. In the ears, Ambal is having that Tadanga. Tadanga means earrings. Earrings, just like a Surya and Chandra. Ambal's earrings are so famous. In Saundarya Acharya himself says, Sudhamapya swadya pratibhaya jaramrityu harinim vipadyante vishve vidishatamakadya divishataha karalam yatkshvelam kabalitavatah kalakarana nashambos tanmulam tava janani tatanka mahima, says Acharyal in Saundarya Lagari. Acharyal says, hey Ambar, all the other devatas, they all drank Amritam. After Samudra Matanam, Amritam came and Visham also came. All the other devatas like Vishnu, Indra, Varuna, Brahman, etc., all those people they drank Amritam. But during Pralaya Kala, even all those devatas who drank Amritam, they are not there. But who is that person who is present even in Pralaya Kalam? That person who drank Visham. Parameshwara, he drank Hala Hala Visham. And that Parameshwara is present during Pralayam. You know, in Lalita Sahasranamam itself, one Nama comes Maheshwara Mahakalpa Mahatandava Sakshini. During Mahakalpa, during Pralaya Kala, Maheshwara, only Parameshwara will be dancing and Ambals will be a Sakshi for that dance. All the other Devatas, they will be dissolved in Parameshwara. And Acharya says, all those Devatas who drank Amritam are not there, but that one person who drank the most potent Visham, Hala Hala Visham, is present even during Pralayakala. Why? He says, Nashamboho Tanmulam Tava Janani Tatanka Mahima, because hey Ambal, because of your Tatanka Mahima, because you are Nitya Kalyani, you are Nitya Sumangali, you are wearing your Tatankam, your earrings at all the times, that Tatanka is protecting Parameshwara even during Pralaya Kalam. So we say Panchamangalyam for Suvasinis. All these things, not only the tali that we wear is for protection, all the other things like earrings, nose stud, metti, talela vechikara poo, nettila vechikara kunkumam, all those things are important. Ambal being Jagat she is not saying I don't have time. She is wearing all those things. Kadamba Banjari Klupta Karnapura Manohara Tadanga Yugali Bhuta Tapanodupa Mandala. Next Nama Padmaraga Shiladarsha Paribhavi Kapola Bhuhu. Ambal's Kannam, Ambal's cheeks are being described here. Ambal's cheeks are as shiny as a Padmaraga stone. As shiny as a Padmaraga stone. So people can even look up to her cheeks. They can look their face on Ambal's cheeks. So they say Parameshwara, because he is present along with Ambal all the time, Parameshwara will be looking at Ambal's cheeks, and in Ambal's cheeks, Parameshwara sees his own face. He, அவர் தன்னோட அழகிலே அப்படியே ரமிச்சு போறார் அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவா. அம்பாளுடைய கன்னத்துல பரமேஸ்வரர் தன் முகத்தை பார்த்து he is, immersed in his own beauty as Kameshwara. They say Padmaraga Shiladarsha Paribhavi Kapolabhuhu Navavidruma Bimbashri Nyakari Radanachada. Ambal's Ambal's lips are as red as Navavidruma Bimbashri. Pavaram. Pavaram is called as Vidruma. Corals, they are Vidruma. The two Navavidruma. Fresh coral will be nice, bright red in color. So Navavidruma and Bimba. Bimba means Kovai Param. Ambal's lips are as red as newly formed coral and Kovai Param. Navavidruma Bimbashri Nyakari Radanachada. Shuddha Vidyang Kurakara Dvijapanti Dvayojwala. Now Ambal's teeth are being explained. There are 32 teeth, right? Shuddha Vidyang Kurakara Dvija Pankti Dvayojwala. The teeth are called as Dvija, meaning they are born two times. Normally, when we are born, we won't have any teeth, and after that, teeth will come, and after some time, that teeth will fall, and then teeth will be born again, right? So that is why tooth are called as Dvija because they are twice born. A bird is called as Dvija. A bird, they are first born, from their mother as an egg. So that is their first birth. And then after egg, they will be born. They have when the eggs hatch, the birdling comes out of that egg, right? So that is their second birth. So a bird is also called as Dvija, and a person who has undergone the process of Upanayanam, that person is also called as Dvija because from Mata, the first birth, and then the second birth when they undergo Brahmopatesham, that is their second birth, as it were. Gayatri then becomes that person's Mata who has undergone Upanayanam. So that person who has undergone Upanayanam is also called as a Dvija, a twice born person. So a tooth is called as Dvija, a bird is called as Dvija, and a person who has undergone Upanayanam is also called as Dvija. In Tamil, the word for bird is Parpu. One of the word for bird is called as Parpu. That is why a person who has undergone Upanayanam is called as a Parpanan because he is a twice born. That is the meaning, that is the etymology of the word Parpanar. It is a nice, very good Tamil word. It is being used, it was used in lot of Sangha Ilakyams as well. Parpanar means a Dvija, a twice born. Again, here coming back to this Nama, Shuddha Vidyankurakara Dvijapankti Dvayojwala. Ambal's teeth are like that Ankura. What is Ankura? Ankura means sprouts. Bija, seed. Ankura, sprout. If we have if you are making bean sprouts, that green gram dal, that is called as bija. Once you put that green gram dal in water, after a couple of days, normal sprouts, that small white things comes out, right? That is called as a sprout. That is called as ankura. Ambal's tooth are not so big and they are not so tiny. They are as beautiful as that ankura. And what type of ankura are they? They are Shuddha Vidyankurakara. They are not normal Ankura, but they are the Ankuras, they are the sprouts of Shuddha Vidya themselves. Any knowledge is called as Vidya. Brahma knowledge, Brahma Vidya is also called as Shuddha Vidya. In Upanishads, a lot of Upasanas being explained in detail. And certain upasanas, people have chosen 32 upasanas as Shuddha Vidya or Brahma Vidya because, they have been discussed in Brahma Sutra. These are very strong upasanas, very potent upasanas. They have been explained in detail in Brahma Sutra and Shankara Bhagavad Pada's Bhashya, etc. Because they are 32 in number, 32 upasanas. Bhuma Vidya, it is one of that Vidya. Panchagni Vidya is another type of Vidya. People who know Taittiriya Upanishad, they would have heard this name. Saishaba or Gavi Varuni Vidya, Bhargavi Vidya or Varuni Vidya. That is one of the 32 Vidyas. While describing Ambal's Dhyana Shloka, I have told something called as Madhu Vidya. That is one of the 32 Vidyas. So these Vidyas are Brahma Vidyas, and Ambal's teeth are like sprouts of those Brahma Vidya or Shuddha Vidya. That is what here Acharya explains as Shuddha Vidyankurakara Dvijapankti Dvayojwala. And then Karpura Vitikamoda Samakarshi Digantara. Ambal is wearing Karpura Vitika. Ambal is having that Vettala Paga Pottukaru. Bida. Ambal is eating, Ambal is chewing beetle leaf. It is a sign of Sumangalis. Normally, all the people for digestion, they say Ayurvedam will also say we have to eat tambulam. And Ambal as a Suvasini, she also eats tambulam. And that is like, it makes her mouth so red in color, and because it has got karpuram, etc., it also smells nice. Shuddha karpura vitika amoda samakarshi digantara. Ambal's karpura vitika is so famous. We all know the story of Kalidasa. Kalidasa, because of Ambal's Karpura Vitika, he got Kavitvam, right? In the same way, there is a Pulavar called as Kalamega Pulavar in Akhilandeshwari in Thiruvanekaval. In Thiruvanekaval, Thiruvanekaval and Srirangam are nearby to each other, right? This Kalamega, he was a Paricharaka in Srirangam temple, a cook. He does not know anything. He is a dumb person. He was working as a cook in Srirangam temple so that he can, earn his livelihood, etc., etc. And this person, for some reason, he went to Akhilandeshwari temple and he spent a night in Akhilandeshwari temple. He slept in Akhilandeshwari temple. At the same night, the famous Sri Vidya Upasaka was also there in Akhilandeshwari temple. He was doing his sadhana because he wanted to meet Ambal herself. So these two persons were staying in Akhilandeshwari temple. They were spending the night. And Ambal, she took a form of a small girl and she came in front of that Sri Vidya Upasaka. She said, "Hey Upasaka, I am here to bless you. You open your mouth, I will give my tambulam to you so that you will get kavitvam." The Sri Vidya Upasaka, because of his garva, normally as you go higher up in Upasakas, your garva will go down. Your garva should go down, but in practice, exactly opposite things happening. When you have lot of Vidya, they will say Vidya Garvam is romba romba nalladunu. They will have Vidya Garvam. It should not be there. And this Sri Vidya Upasaka, because of his Vidya Garvam, he did not recognize Ambal in that small girl. He said, "Hey, hey, hey, I will not do this. You are just a small girl. Please get lost." He said. So Ambal, she came. She was going back to her own sanctum sanctorum. On her way back, she saw this Kalameka, the Parcharaka. He was opening his mouth. He was sleeping. He was, vittifying Koratai. And he was snoring with his opened mouth and he was sleeping. And Ambal saw that. Ambal spat her Karpura Vitika. Ambal spat her tambulam onto this person's mouth and then she went inside. And this person, the next day, he became an Ashukavi. Ashukavi means that person who can write a song momentarily, extemporally, he can write songs and he becomes a great poet called as Kala Mega Pulavar. Asukavi Kala Mega Pulavar. He became so much famous in writing siledai. If the same words that will give two meanings, that is called as siledai in Tamil. Vari kalattadikum vanda pinbu kottai pugum poril siranda pulivagum சீர்மிகு திருமலைராயன் வரையில் வைக்கோலும் மால்யானியாம். He wrote all those poems because of Ambal's Karpura Vitika, Ambal's Tambula Mahima. Karpura Vitika Moda Samakarshi Digandara. Next Nama Nijasallapa Madhurya Vinirbhatsita Kachapi. Acharya explains this in his Saundarya Lahari. This entire, for this one Nama, Acharya writes a very beautiful shloka. Vipancha ghayanti vividam apadanam pashupatehe swayarabdhe vaktum chalita sirasa sadhu vachane तदीयैर् माधुर्यैः अपलवित तंत्री कलरवाम निजां वीणां वाणी निचुलयति चोलेन निभृतम्. Ambal is present in her royal court and nearby Ambal is Saraswati Devi. Saraswati Devi's Veena is called as Kachapi. Saraswati's Veena's name is called as Kachapi. Like that, Mahati is the name of Narada's Veena. Narada's Veena is called as Mahati. Like that, Kachapi is the name of Saraswati's Veena. Saraswati is doing Veena Ganam, and in that Veena, she is singing praises of Parameshwara. I have told before, Veena is the only instrument that is present in Vedas itself. So, Saraswati is doing Veena Ganam, singing the praises of Parameshwara. Ambal is sitting on her court, on her royal throne, and she is so immersed in Saraswati's Veena. Normally, what happens in Patakacheri, the singer will sing, the next person will say Bale, Bale, Bale. Sometimes these days the singer itself is saying bale 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 for his own songs. It was not happening at that time. Saraswati is playing the veena. Ambal was so happy, and Ambal is saying bale 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 to Saraswati. And Saraswati hearing Ambal's no, Ambal's voice, Ambal's voice was even sweeter than Saraswati's veena. So Saraswati, she locked her veena out of embarrassment, because Ambal's voice is much more sweeter than my own veena. My own veena is like cacophony in that Ambal's royal court. So Saraswati, she closed her veena. Nana petti ellam potu kalambi peta, petti ellam potu vechunta. That is what this Nama also says. Nija sallapa madhurya vinirbhat sitakachati. Ambal's madhuramana voice. Ambal's, divine voice is putting Kachapi to embarrassment. Kachapi is the name of Saraswati's veena. Nijasallapa madhurya vinirbhat sita Kachapi mandasmita prabhapura majjat kamesha manasa. Ambal, after coming out of Chidagni Kunda, she has to be married. After, before doing Pattabhisheka, it does not matter if it is a guy or a girl, they have to be married. Because even before Pattabhisheka, Rama was married, right? Nandikeshwara, before his Pattabhisheka, he also gets married in Tirumalapadi. In the same way, Ambal, she has to, she undergoes Pattabhisheka, and then she goes and fights with Bandasura. And before Pattabhisheka, she has to marry somebody, and the only groom that is worthy of Ambal is Parameshwara. But what is Parameshwara doing? He is sitting under a banyan tree as Dakshinamurti, not even looking at Ambal, not even looking at anybody. Rati tried, Manmata tried. They all, even Manmata went into, became ashes, but nobody can change the hearts of Parameshwara. But Ambal has to marry Parameshwara, and then she has to undergo Pattabhishekam, and then she has to kill Bandasura, and then Subramanyotpati. All those things are to happen, and these devas were getting anxious. Hey, this Parameshwara is Kamari. Kama Ari is Ari means an enemy. Kama Ari, an enemy of Kama, Manmatha, is Parameshwara. He is Kamari. He is not even looking at anybody. How is all those things going to happen? These devas were getting anxious. What did Ambal do? Ambal has to just smile. Mandasmita Prabhapura Majjat Kamesha Manasa. All that required was a nice smile from Ambal. Kameshwara changed his mind. That is why he is called as Kamesha instead of Kamari. Kama Ari, an enemy of Kama, becomes Kama Isha, the Lord of Kama. Because after the first thing that happened after Kameshwara Kameshwari marriage, after Lalita and Kameshwara marriage, is that Ambal made Kameshwara to give life to Manmatha. That is why they say after marriage, everybody changes. Before marriage, people will be like one thing. After marriage, people will be exactly opposite. Before marriage, Shiva was Kama Ari, an enemy of Kama. And after marriage, Shiva is called as Kamesha, the Ishvara, the Lord of Kama. Why? Because of Ambal's Mandahasam, Mandasmita Prabhapura, Majjat Kamesha Manasa. With this, we will finish today's class. Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Just a reminder, first month we did for Shukla Panchami, we did Ganesha Pancharatna Stotram Parayanam. For the second Shukla Panchami, all the details are there in the website. You can see those details in the chat box as well. People, we will update the website, all those details in the chat box. For the second Shukla Panchami, the shloka is Dakshinamurti Ashtakam. We have already uploaded the audio along with, an YouTube video for Dakshinamurti Ashtakam. You can practice so that for the forthcoming Shukla Panchami, everybody can chant that shloka and get Mahaperyavas and Bhagavad Pada grace. With this, we will finish today's class. If you have any questions, you can ask.